If you just came in, go ahead and introduce yourself in the chat. Tell us where you're from, who you are, what you do. What would you like to get out of today's class? We'll wait for everyone to join and then we will get started. We've got Colorado, California, Illinois, New York, and also Cuba. Chelsea's doubling in locations. Wisconsin. I'm from Kansas City. Oh, wow. We got Trinidad. That's exciting. How fun. Iowa. All right. I will just give you guys like kind of a rundown of how I do my classes, how this kind of works. I'll ask all of you to stay on mute while I'm teaching because we are recording and we will give the replay out to everybody afterwards. If you have any questions, drop them in the chat. We will do Q&A after I do the teaching portion, but feel free to drop in the chat at any point, any questions that you have, and I'll try to cover them all by the end of today. Be present, right? I love to interact. I want my classes to be interaction. So if you guys can, obviously be on camera, interact, have fun, right? We're here to learn, but we're also here to have fun. I don't do any dry, boring lecture teachings because that's a snooze fest, right? And as I've stated before, I am not going to just share about me, my clients, and then pitch you. I will tell you about my offer, right? I am going to give you guys a special bonus. I am going to tell you about our program, but the entire class is not a pitch, and I will do a lot of teaching here. That's what I do. But yeah, so we'll give everyone just like 2 more minutes, and then we're going to go ahead and get started. North Dakota, New Jersey, Arkansas, so many, all of you from all over the place. Also, thank you all for being here, taking time to be here today on your bright and early Tuesday morning. So excited to teach this class today. I have not taught live in a long time. Most of you do potentially know that I just had a baby a couple months ago, and so haven't taught live other than with my students for a while. So hopefully I'm not rusty. Oh, this is something that is a special announcement that all of you guys don't know. It's a surprise. But if you share this on social media today and you tag me at its_LLC, then we are going to pick one of you to win a 12-month membership inside of our inner circle. So post a picture on Instagram, tag me, and you'll be chosen potentially to win a 1-year membership inside of our inner circle. All right, let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to share my screen with you guys. Okay, can everybody see my screen? Good? Awesome. Welcome to the free masterclass, Content That Converts. Today, we're going to be talking about organic content and how to convert it into paying clients, right? Because that's what we all want to do. Before we get started, I'm Tay Daniels. I'm the owner and founder of It's Tay LLC. It's VAT and the Breadwinner Energy Company. I started my very, very first business in 2016. I was 7 months pregnant and I had no business starting a business. I had no degree. I had no experience. I had no clients. I had $100 to my name and I had already wrecked my credit at just 22, 23 years old and decided to start a virtual assistant business so I could be at home with my daughter, which was honestly the best decision I ever made, even though that was absolutely crazy. In 2018, I went through an abusive relationship / divorce. And at that point, my business still wasn't making enough money to really survive, but I didn't want to go back to a 9-to-5, right? But I also had a 2-year-old and I had to. So I applied for a few 9-to-5s. I went through a few interviews and was not selected. It was $40,000 a year. And I decided to niche down in our virtual assistant business to the wedding industry. After doing this, within 6 months, I was completely booked out. And I'm so glad that 9-to-5 did not take me on. And then in 2019, 2020, I began coaching. And today I have a 6-figure agency and a multi-6-figure coaching company. And I help women start coaching, build their coaching business all the way to 100K, multi-6 figures. And I'm a mom of 2 girls. I'm remarried. I'm a podcast host. If you haven't listened to the podcast, go check it out, Breadwinner Energy Podcast. But that is a little bit of a backstory about me and how I got started in this industry. Coaching and leadership has always been in my blood. I was a gymnastics coach. I was a cheer coach for a couple schools, and I've always loved coaching, but I never thought of myself as a coach in this industry. And honestly, it was the best decision I ever made because it has led me here. Let me make sure there's no participants trying to join us. Okay, so if you stay till the end for being live today, you're going to get those free content prompts. They will be emailed over to you. They are the prompts that we use to create content, so you guys can use those as your own, essentially. So stay till the end, and we will email those over to you. Okay, I'm going to talk about Academy first before we dive in, because you all know this is coming, right? And anyone who's been on a masterclass knows at some point the person's going to sell you their offer. So I just like to get it out of the way, and then we can dive into the content, right? Because I don't want any of you to be distracted by like this thought of like, oh my gosh, she's going to pitch us. Yes, I am. And so we'll just get it out of the way, and then we'll jump into the content. So 100K Academy was my first group coaching program I ever built. I built it in 2021. It was the offer that got me to 6 figures in 6 months. And today we still run this offer. We've put many, many women through this program. It is a 12-month coaching program where we help you hit your first 6-figure year. We help you build a 6-figure business so that you can pay off your debt. You can travel more, buy your dream home, buy your dream car. Maybe you can put all your bills on auto pay. Someone told me that was one of their biggest goals. And I officially live with all of my bills on auto pay. And it is amazing. When I used to be in debt and be on WIC and live in a trailer and be extremely poor, to put your bills on auto pay is such relief. So that maybe you can leave your 9-to-5, or that you can just live in peace knowing you know where money is coming from. You feel secure that you have built a 6-figure business and you're not in the hustle and the trap of money. So this is like our OG program. It's our middle tiered program. So we also have Coach School, which is like you're just stepping into coaching. You want to build your first offer. And then 100K Academy is where you're ready to take that offer and really scale it up. We do have some women in there that are brand new to coaching, or we have some women in there that are at their 9-to-5s. We have women in there that are making a couple $100s in their business, all the way to women making 6 figures in their business. The 5C framework, which is what we're going to talk about today, is the framework that I've built to help you hit your first 6 figures seamlessly. So content is what we're going to focus on today, but every single step goes into the next step. You cannot miss a step. You cannot skip a step. You cannot only do a few of them or do them out of order. And we're going to talk more about how this framework plays into each other later in today's training. Okay, so just for being here, if you join 100K Academy in the month of August, you're going to get Inner Circle membership, our 12-month membership included, and Coach Skills. Inner Circle membership is a 12-month membership, and it has every single masterclass, mini course, anything that I've taught over the last 2 years included. And then every month we do live trainings together. Coach Skills is 6 weeks of training where I'm going to give you the skills and the tools to coach ethically, to coach morally, to be able to put your own thoughts and judgment aside, to coach from a very clean and neutral place. And then you'll coach your peers for 6 weeks so that you have practice. Because from coaching other women in the industry, you don't know what you don't know. And a lot of people who aren't certified, because you don't have to be, or haven't got the tools to coach, are likely going to run into things. So for instance, I started out as a business coach. I'm now certified as a life and business coach because a lot of people brought in life and mindset things into business coaching, right? And if you don't clean up your home and your life and your mindset, it's going to be really hard to be good at your job, good at business. And so those two things tied together. And so coach skills are really important to have as a coach always. So you're going to get those two programs included when you enroll in the month of April. However, if you enroll by Thursday, you are going to get a one-on-one session with me included as well. Those sessions, anyone who's in Academy in this room can vouch, those sessions are a game changer. One-on-one, 45 minutes together will change your life. So you're going to get that if you enroll by Thursday. However, we're only taking 10 people in this program for the rest of the year. So 10 spots the rest of the year and the doors are closed. Okay. If you guys have any questions, feel free to put those in the chat. We'll talk more about that later. And then let's get into today's training. So for a lot of my women here or in my program, there's a few things or reasons why your content likely does not convert. And a lot of you are trying to post or trying to show up online as a 6 and 7 figure business owner before you are one, or you're not showing up at all. And the reason you're not showing up at all is because you're like, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do. I don't have a following. Nobody cares. And then if you're trying to post like a 6 and 7 figure business owner, you're likely going to get crickets. And the reason is because they have primed their audience. They have created a warm to hot audience who is ready to buy from them. So for me, I can possibly post, hey, I just popped up this offer, link in bio, or shoot me a DM and let's chat, right? I could probably do that and people are going to message me because I've built that hot audience. But if you've never done that before and you've never built awareness, you're going to get crickets. Yes, people might look at your sales page. However, most of the time you're not getting DMs and you're not getting people to actually buy. So you're actually just posting and praying that somebody DMs you or clicks the link in the bio and buys from you. The coaching industry has changed and will forever evolve. And you kind of have to keep up on how it evolves in the marketing realm. And so what that means is that currently people are not buying unless they've built a relationship with you. The reason that June we had a $57,000 month was because of our current clients re-signing. Most of them. Yes, we had new clients come in, but a lot of that is reoccurring payments and our current clients re-signing, right? So keeping the clients that you already have is going to be essential, and having an offer suite that allows them to go up and down throughout your offers is essential. However, you have to build a warm to hot audience. You just have to. You have to prep and prime your audience and build awareness around who you are and what you do, and build personal relationships with people in order to get people to convert. So I think for a lot of you, you have been told in the past, like just post more, show up on stories, build reels, do this, do that, and you're doing it and nothing's still happening for you. This is the reason. It comes down to these relationships, and it comes down to a few things we're going to talk about today. Number one would be a lead problem, meaning that you either don't have leads in your audience that are in alignment with your offer, and likely they're not qualified leads. And we'll get into what a qualified lead is later. Number two is that you have a value problem. You're not showing up as an expert and providing enough value. So they don't know enough about you or what you do. And maybe you're either just selling or you're just posting inspirational things, and you're not doing a realm of the correct content in order for people to view you as an expert or a leader in your industry. Number three is a relevancy problem. Relevancy problem means that your offer is not currently relevant to your leads or to your niche. So meaning that they either don't want it, they don't feel like they need it, or they don't think that it's relevant right now for them. So nobody's buying. So I want you guys to put in the chat real quick. First and foremost, what is your biggest struggle with content? And then I also want you to put, which problem do you have? A lead problem, a value problem, relevancy problem, maybe all of the above. A lot of you think it's a sales problem, but it probably isn't. For most of you, it's not a sales problem. It's probably one of these other problems. So in the chat, what's your biggest struggle with content? Which problem do you have? Biggest struggle, figuring out what to share. Interesting. Okay, we're going to talk more about that too. Like, what do I talk about? What do I post? It's going to be one of the biggest ones, probably all of the above. Yeah. So in our programs too, what we like to do is diagnose the problem first before we try to fix it, because we can't fix a problem without a diagnosis. And so if you have a lead problem and you continue to post content, nothing's going to change, right? If you have a lead problem and a value problem, right? That's where we know what we need to fix. If you have a relevancy problem, we need to fix your offer. If you have a value problem, we probably need to fix your content, the way you talk to people, your messaging, your marketing. If you have a lead problem, then we need to decide why. Are you not talking to the right people? Do you even know who your niche is? Do you know enough about them? Are you actually going out and getting leads? If so, where, right? We want to diagnose this problem. If you have no idea what to post, in our programs, we call it offer story. So you always know what to post because you build out who you help, how you help them, what you do, why you do it, what your story is, your polarizing opinions about that, the results that you give. Again, we're going to get into that a little bit. But if you want to deep dive, obviously come to the program. Engagement leads and how to use IG stories, a value problem, value, probably all of that. Okay. I also want to preface it by saying that there's no such thing as giving away too much value. That's not actually a thing. I have taught week-long events and people still join my program. I have asked multiple people to come to a workshop, which was almost exactly like our academy workshops. We were together for hours and I gave them most of this strategy and then workshopped with them and they still joined the program. The problem is not that you're giving too much value, because when they get value from you, they're just going to be like, wow, I could only imagine if I worked with her. I could only imagine what it would be like to be inside of her program. Because just because you give people information doesn't mean they're going to do anything with it. It doesn't mean they know what to do with it, right? So they're either going to fall off the wagon because of accountability. They're going to hit a roadblock and not know how to get past it because they're not being actively coached and they don't know how to coach themselves. Or they're just like not going to do it, right? Or not going to understand it. So you can't give away too much value. Okay, so the checklist that is necessary to get your content to convert is here. Feel free to screenshot this screen. Okay, your niche. You have to have a niche. And I specifically tell our students to double niche. What does double niche mean? Double niche means that you have a niche of people or an industry that you serve, service providers, coaches, virtual assistants, whatever. And then your double niche is your offer. So for virtual assistants, maybe you're a sales coach for virtual assistants, right? So the niche is sales and virtual assistants, right? Maybe you're a life coach for women of color. Again, double niche. You're life coaching women of color. So if you can niche very, very specifically, it's going to be very easy for you to find leads, qualify your leads, and then have an offer that stands out from everyone else. It's also going to allow you to create content so much easier. You're just talking to one person about one thing, essentially. Everyone in the chat, tell me, do you have a niche? If so, who's your niche? How specific is your niche? Because this could potentially be your problem, which is holding you back from qualifying leads or finding leads because you don't actually know who you're talking to. And if you don't know who you're talking to, it's going to be really hard to create content that converts. So who's your niche? Virtual assistants that are overbooked and underpaid. Love it. My niche is either women that want to become coaches or women that are coaches. And typically we work with older women. We have a few girls, ladies in their 20s, but for the most part, our ladies are like 30 to 50s in our programs. I don't know why, but I love it. It's a good time. Okay. And then what do you specifically do for that niche? So again, how does your offer stand out for that specific person? And is it relevant? Do they actually want and need it? And if you're like, Tay, I have no idea, ask people. Start having conversations with people. Start asking more questions to people, right? Because you need to know what people want, but you need to know what they need, but you also need to know what they want. For a lot of us, because we're the expert, we know what our people need, right? We know but that's not going to get them to buy if they don't feel like they need it. If you're in the business realm, most people just want time and money. And that's like the surface level of what people want. So if you tell someone that you're going to give them time and money, just that little piece is probably not going to be enough to stand out. Like it needs to be more specific than that. Helping young women who are disconnected from self create a deeper relationship in order to heal. Ooh, that's good. That's very specific. Mom business owners that want to stop relying solely on social media to build their businesses and start using their podcast as their main form of marketing. Sweet. Love it. Andrea, I would want to know too, what kind of business owners are they? Like service-based, digital, product, brick and mortar? Are they like newer in business? Are they further along in business, right? Because this could likely depend on how you market. Personal finance for women. Yes, I would be way more specific than that. What is personal finance? What does that mean? What's included in this? And then for women, what type of women? And are they entrepreneurs? Are they at 9 to 5s? Are they in corporate? Are they moms? Like, tell me more. The reason this matters is for marketing purposes, because people want to feel like you are talking specifically to them, right? So if you're going to hire a coach, there's going to be a few things that you look for when hiring. And one of them is going to be, is this relevant to me? Do I need it? Does she understand me? Is she speaking to me? Does that feel like she gets me? A lot of people think that their problems are so unique that no one else shares this problem. And so you have to really get them in order to help them. We know their problems probably aren't that unique, but they have to feel that in your marketing and your messaging. Women who are experiencing financial abuse in a relationship and need a way to escape. Sweet. Okay, now how clear is your offer? How clear is the offer that you have? Because again, all of this plays into your content. Your content is going to be pieces of your framework in your offer. How clear is your framework in your offer? How clear is the result that you're getting your clients? How clear is the offer that you provide? And not like it's 12 months long and it's 10 calls and we meet once a week. I'm going to tell you right now, people do not give a shit about that information. They do not care. People want to know, is this relevant? Are you going to solve my problems? How fast can I get the results? Right? People don't care how many calls there are. People want to know, can you solve my problems? So how clear is your offer that you're going to solve the problem that they think that they have? Does your ideal client follow and engage with you? This is so important, right? Because if you're creating content, but you don't have ideal clients in your audience, it's going to feel like crickets. It's going to be crickets. You're just putting out content to the world to be like, check mark, I posted content today. What's the point? If you're posting consistently and it's not providing you with leads and buyers and building up your community, why are we even on social media to begin with? That is a complete waste of your time as a business owner. You need to do things that move the needle. So do not just post on social and be like, checked it off the list. What's next? Right? We have to actually do things that move the needle in our business. Okay. Do you have qualified leads in your audience? What is a qualified lead? This is like the $1 million question. What's a qualified lead? A qualified lead is somebody who's ready to buy from you. Somebody who fits in your niche. They are the perfect buyer for the offer that you have built. They feel like they absolutely need this offer. However, the only thing that's standing between a qualified lead and them buying is have you overcome their objections? So likely, even if they feel like I definitely need this, they have objections, right? They want to know if it's for them. Is this a good fit? They'll have questions and you need to overcome those objections, but also providing value. If you provide enough value and enough information to the qualified lead and you've overcome their objections, they're going to be ready to buy. That's how you know they're qualified. If you feel like this person would be the perfect fit for my offer, but insert excuse, they're probably not a qualified lead. That person who continues to DM you over and over and over again, like, I know I want this and I know I need it and this is the perfect offer for me. And I'm talking like months, years on end, and they never join, they're not a qualified lead. Even if you want them to be, they're just not, okay? So I'm going to give you this graph. Everyone in here who's a student knows exactly the graph I'm about to pull out for you. This is my infamous graph that I show everybody. sense. It just makes sense. And I'm a picture person. Okay, can everyone see this on my screen? Okay, this is where you started when you first started your journey. This is you now, and this is likely maybe a coach or a mentor or the journey that you're currently on to get here. This is probably, or somewhere on this line, is exactly your ideal client, because coaches who are here coach this person back here. Like a version of who you used to be is who you usually coach. A qualified lead means they're somewhere on this journey, but we need to decide where at are they in this journey. We can't just say anyone in this journey, because people who are just starting and people who are like making a little bit of money are in very different places and mindsets. Okay. This person maybe never invested before, and this person maybe has invested in some courses, memberships, and low ticket offers, but now they're absolutely ready for a coach because they know that that's just information and that is not a transformation. So we're not going to market to this person who's not ready to invest in group coaching, high ticket coaching, or a coach because they're not ready. They're not qualified. Will they be qualified at some point? Yes, but they're not qualified today. So we're not going to talk to her. We're going to talk to someone here, right? But we need to know our audience in order to know how to talk to them. So likely it's just small shifts. Like you've already invested in all the courses and memberships. You have the information, but you just feel like you're missing something. You're missing the transformation. You're missing that piece, right? That's where our program comes in. That's how you want to talk to people. So you're already qualifying them through your content. Does this make sense to everyone? To make sure that you guys understand. Love the graph. Yes. Yes, that is my infamous graph, right? So that is always the journey that we want to look at when we're talking about our leads or our buyer and where they're at in their journey, because we don't want to talk to people who are not quite to that place yet, right? So let's say that you, for instance, Raquel, you coach women on leaving financially abusive situations. We don't want to convince somebody that they're in a financially abusive situation. We don't want to be like, oh, I know you're in a financially abusive situation. Like I can clearly see it. And she's not convinced. We don't want to convince her. We want to say, you know, you're in a financially abusive situation. You just need to know how to get out, right? Different. The way we talk to people is very different, but now we've qualified her because she's like, that's me. I know that's me. I've been feeling that. I just don't know how to get out of it. Versus the person that's like, I don't know. He's actually a nice guy. He likes the kids, right? We don't want to have to convince. Okay. All right. Let's see here. My screen is not being nice to me today. Okay. Are you engaging and conversating with ideal clients? Put in the chat right now. Do you have qualified leads in your audience? And are you having conversations with them consistently? Yes or no? Yes. Okay. Yes. But should go to their stories more. So it's consistent conversations. Okay. So if you guys know you have qualified leads and you're having conversations, why are you not converting? That's what I want to know. Yes, but maybe not consistently. And are you having conversations that are only friendly, or are you ever selling to these people? Because I think that we're going to talk about this, the balance of creating relationships, creating trust, making invites. You have to do both. We cannot just kiki in the DMs forever. We can't. Especially if somebody needs your offer, if somebody truly would benefit from your offer. And I talk about this all the time with my students. You are doing people a disservice if you do not sell to them, because your offer will change their life, right? Just having conversations in DMs, downloading my freebies is not going to change your life. Being in my program will, right? So I'm going to have to at some point offer you my program if you're a qualified lead. And if you keep having these conversations and people are like, maybe one day I'll think about it. I need to ask my husband, right? Like they consistently have excuses. They might not be a qualified lead, and we need to go out and find some more. And then do you have a community and hot audience built? Hot audience means you can drop an offer, tell people to DM you, tell people to hit the link in the bio. People are buying. And then you just want more buyers at this point. So do you have a hot audience built? A community? A community is not your Instagram following. A community is not your social media following. A community is a private place where you have warm and hot leads ready to buy from you. So what that means is all of you here at some point were a stranger. You were on social media. You didn't know me. You weren't on my email list. You weren't in my free Slack channel. You weren't in my membership. You have not been in my community, right? You only knew me from social media. So I would never consider any of you a lead, possibly, but I would never say that you're in my community. You then decided to come to this free masterclass. So you put your name and your email in. Now you're on my email list. Now you're in my private community. Now you're a lead. You're a warm or a hot lead if you're in this room. Why? Because you want information from me. You have already said yes to me. You've already said yes to signing up with me. So now you're a lead, right? Now I'm going to qualify you based on conversations. For some of you, group coach school is going to be a better fit for you. For some of you, academy is going to be a better fit for you. And for some of you, mastermind is going to be a better fit for you. But I have to qualify you for a program based on where you're at and what your goals are. But you're all leads now because you're all in my community because you've already said yes to being here. My advice to my students, spend more time building your community and being with your community. They've already said yes to you, right? Less time on social media trying to get more people in and spend more time with the people who have already said yes to you, right? The people who have already said yes to you just need a little bit of more information. They just need a little bit more of your energy or to know who you are, to be in your space. And if they get more of that, then they're going to be a yes. They're just waiting for you to do that, to turn them into a yes. But a lot of you aren't spending enough time creating content for those people. What do those people want and need? They've already said yes to something. If you said yes to being here, this tells me right now that you are not making enough sales. You don't know what to post on social media. You're lacking with your content strategy, and you want likely to be able to post and make more money. That's what that means if you're here. This is what this means if you signed up to be here today, which means you're probably going to qualify for one of two programs because that's where we go deep dive into this exact strategy, right? How are we feeling before we move on? Do we have any questions? Feeling good? Ready to keep going? Keep moving? Okay. All right. The content and conversation wheel. This is where I came up with my 5-step framework: content, conversations, community, clients, cash, in that order. So you want your content to create conversations, and your conversations are also going to create content. We're going to go back and forth between those two pillars, but you're going to be inviting people to your community. If you're just now building awareness, people are just getting to know you, they're still deciding if they know you, they like you, they trust you, invite them to your community. I always go with selling first, selling them into an offer, selling them to a sales call for your offer. And if they say no, but they're not ready, but they are a lead or a possible qualified lead, invite them into your community as a downsell. Don't just invite them into your community and then don't nurture and educate them, right? Like we want to take them to be content buyer or content client, cash. But if we can't get them straight over to client, put them in community. And then show up for your community all the time. Create more content for your community. So Inner Circle, my low ticket membership. If you're in there, you're going to get me every single month showing up and giving you content. You're going to have a portal of me giving you content, right? Because that's where I'm putting my energy. If you're in my free Slack channel, I'm giving you content every single day of the week. Okay? So I'm pouring into the people who have already said yes to pull them into being a buyer. Okay, content, conversations, community wheel. So with this, what content do you guys need to post? That's like the big question here, right? Like, what do I post on stories? What do I post on my feed to get people to have conversations with me? First and foremost is you need to create content that creates conversations with people. How do we do this? We need to know who our people are. We need to know what they want. We need to know what they need. And you also need to be posting something that would spark a conversation. Stories is a great place to do this. Ask your people questions. It doesn't even have to just be business. It could be anything. Ask people questions. I ask people questions all the time about life. Yesterday, I posted a story and asked y'all if I have an accent. Half of you guys said yes, right? Has nothing to do with my business at all, but it created a lot of conversations. I've asked you guys questions about parenting. The other day, I asked if anyone knew how to reset the hatch because my hatch wasn't working. Created a lot of conversations. I didn't do this just to create conversations. I genuinely needed to know that question. But that type of content sparks conversation, right? Now we're having conversations. Now we're building a relationship. Now we're getting to know each other. We're asking each other open-ended questions. At some point in this conversation, one of us is going to ask something like, how'd you get started? Why do you do what you do? Right? That's then going to lead into something else over time, over and over and over again. So we want to create content that creates conversations. When you have conversations with people, create content from there. How does this work? If I have a conversation with someone, this happened a lot with group coach school, and they're like, you know what? I really want to be in there, but I'm just not sure if this is for me. I'm going to create a post that says, how do you know group coach school is for you? Or she's going to say something like, I know I need to be in there. I'm just not sure. Like, I'm not trusting myself. Like, I'm just so nervous, the investment. And then I'm going to create a post about trusting yourself and making investments. She's going to feel like I am talking to her. And if she thinks that, I can only imagine how many other people in my audience also think this. So that one conversation, I have now created a piece of content for. More people are now having conversations with me because they also feel that way. And they're like, ooh, I feel called out. That feels like me. That's the content conversation wheel. And we just keep doing this and doing this and doing this. And as we're doing this and having conversations and building relationships, we're inviting them into our community. What does this mean? What does that mean? Email list, your free Facebook group. Maybe you're even inviting people to be on your podcast and they're inviting you. You're collaborating. Maybe you're like, hey, you know what? We have the same audiences. Let's do a summit together. Let's do a bundle together. Let's do a giveaway together. Every conversation you have isn't going to be a sale directly, but it's great to build your network, right? So if you go into social media from this lens of how can I provide value? Whose life can I change today? How many relationships can I build today? You're going to get a lot further, a lot faster than who's buying from me today. I haven't made any sales. Why is no one buying? Right? That's very low vibe energy versus being in this higher vibe place of like, I'm an expert and I have a lot of shit to share. I'm about to blow y'all minds today. Like I'm about to go off, right? I'm about to show you guys some mind-blowing information. I'm going to change your life. And then when people are consuming your content, they're like, this is so good. I'm learning so much about you. I'm learning so much about the things that you know. You have given me so much valuable information. For instance, I did a free 5-day challenge last year. It was $99 about building your first 6-figure offer. Today, that is my 5-hour free mini course. 5 hours of content on building your offers. That I then built into a program, Coach School. Someone could have just downloaded that and that been enough for them to build an offer. I went deep in like your niche, build your offer, how to build your offer. A lot of you even went through that class, right? That I had a girl message me and was like, because of that free masterclass, that free mini course, I went ahead and built my first group coaching offer and I just decided to get started. I was like, awesome. I sold her into Coach School and she bought into Coach School. She could have been like, that's enough. You just gave me 5 hours of free things. But she was like, if I already took so much action just from this, I can only imagine what it's going to be like to be in your world for 6 to 12 months, right? You can't give away too much. It's not a thing. So we want to create content that is value packed. It shows you as the expert. If you don't know what value you have, I want you to go back to your offer. If you don't have an offer and you don't have a signature framework, we need to start there. That's where Group Coach School comes in. Do not use my 5C framework. That is my framework. Do not try to rip that off, okay? It doesn't work that way. Build your own. And it's not going to land for you or your clients because it's not yours and you didn't create it. Create your own framework, your own steps, your own roadmap for your clients to get the result that you're going to provide them. So if I say, I'm going to help you hit $100,000 in a year, the framework are the steps to do that. From that framework, I'm going to pull pieces out, create valuable content. Yeah. So that is where I post on my feed, those steps, those how-tos. So you guys are going to get the prompts to create your own content from that. Then we want to give like how-to tips, again, more of like value, showing expertise. And that's going to shift you into being seen as an expert. You also want to, hold on, let me make sure everyone's muted, sorry. You also want to be building awareness for your audience. So building awareness around your offer, what you do, who you help, how you help them. And then also, of course, relevancy. How relevant is this to your people? Posting your own stories, how you got started, why you do what you do, why you decided to coach, why you decided to choose the niche. Like, story sharing is going to be the key to building relationships. It truly will be. And then testimonials, right? Who have I helped? How have I helped people before? What results have I gotten other people? And then polarizing content is the last one. So this isn't spicy content. This is polarizing, meaning that it might be unpopular, but it's backed by your values. For instance, one of mine is that you don't have to be an influencer to be successful as a coach. That's a polarizing opinion. Another one is you actually don't need social media to be successful. You don't need social media to even hit 6 figures, to be honest with you. Another polarizing opinion backed by my values. Right? I'm not creating spicy content to be mean. I'm not creating spicy content to like start problems on social media. I'm truly showing you like, these are my polarizing opinions. You don't need ads before your first 6 figures. You don't need a team. You don't need a website. You don't need fancy funnels. You don't need to be a business coach to hit 6 figures in the online coaching space. Those are all of my polarizing opinions. People are going to resonate with those and then be like, oh my gosh, I also agree. And we're going to have conversations. Again, we're building those conversations. We're building those relationships from the content, but we're also being seen as an expert. And we're also giving away value, giving away more value than we are selling. Those are the pillars that we want to post or create content from. Okay. Value, how-to tips, being seen as the expert, story sharing, results and testimonials, polarizing opinions, building awareness, building relevancy. Okay. So the 5C framework, we kind of touched on this before. Content that builds conversations and relationships. From those conversations and relationships, we then want to build our community, invite people to our community. From the community, we want to sell them and create clients, which then creates cash money. Okay. This is our 5-step framework that I teach inside of Academy. It's how we're going to build your first 6 figures together. So let's open the floor for some Q&A, some coaching. So if you have any questions, put them in the chat. Let's do Q&A. Remember that if you share and tag on social media at @itstaydaniels_LLC, we will choose one of you to win a 12-month membership inside of Inner Circle. If you join Academy by Thursday, you're going to get Inner Circle included, coach skills included, and a one-on-one session with me. And then if you join by the end of the month, you'll get the other 2, the Inner Circle coach skills. Only 10 spots left for that program. Okay, put your questions in the chat. What do you want to know about content? What do you want to know about building your own content? What do you want to know about converting, sales, all the things? While you're putting those questions in the chat, Academy, the schedule is every single day. We have Slack coaching and community. We have the most hands-on community in the industry. That is like one of our biggest things. Our communities that we build, very hands-on. Weekly business coaching every single Monday for an hour. Every other week on Thursdays, we do life and mindset coaching because we know that if you don't clear up your life and your mind, you're not going to be a better business owner. We have monthly guest experts and then quarterly retreats. Our next retreat is on Monday. We're doing the 5-step framework, the 5 C's. We're hands-on in your business. So you bring your workbook that I give you. We're deep diving into your content specifically, your community, your clients, your cash, and where you need to fill your specific gaps. We have a self-paced portal of over 88 trainings because this program's been running for years, private podcast, 24/7 Slack community. We do project audits. We audit all of your work, daily Slack coaching, and then again, the business and life coaching calls. Okay. What questions do you guys have for me about content? Tell me what you got. Let's do it. Who wants to be coached too? If anyone wants to be coached, I'll also coach you guys. thoughts on value of creating website content versus just posting content on social media like Insta podcasts. What's more important? Okay. This is a good question, but also a loaded question because it actually depends where you're at. So on your website, you're going to be creating copy, right? Copy and content are not exactly the same thing. So on your website, the copy would be based on the offer. And I actually don't think that you need a website, but maybe just a landing or a sales page for your offer. And then on social media, you want to be posting content that shows you as the expert, shows you the value. You're sharing stories. So you're really building like your portfolio on social. So you can really get away with not having a website. Let me give you like a behind the scenes. Let me just show you like my landing sales page versus my Instagram. Give you a real life example. Get my sales pages up here. Can you guys see my page? Good. Okay, this is my website page. I have it through Kajabi. If you guys want the link to Kajabi, I will give you the link. I love Kajabi. I think that if you're a coach, that you should have a coaching platform. Kajabi is my preference because it has everything all in one. So let's just go to, mind you, at this level, right, multi six-figure level, this is going to look different. So you don't need all these pages and all these things that I have, and I didn't have them before six figures, and you don't need them. Should not be your focus. Before six figures, you should not be focusing on like a bunch of freebies and a funnel and a big website and like all the things that aren't making money. Because when you're first a business owner and you're first a coach, make money first. Once you make money, we can build the fancy funnels and all the other things. We don't need those first. It will just literally suck your time, and then you will put all your time and energy into being behind the scenes, behind your website, tweaking your copy, adding images instead of like being out there and making sales, showing up as an expert. So, okay, this is my sales page, which is really all you need. One six-figure offer and a sales landing page, right? What is it? 100K Academy. What does it do? Helps you make 100K in 12 months. Here's a button to join now. All the places I've been seen in. And then I'm talking directly to my person. Do you feel like you're spinning your wheels? You can't get past the 3 to 5K inconsistent months? While everyone else online is making 10K months like it's a walk in the park, right? I'm talking right to you. Then you're wondering, you are working 30 to 40 hours a week while trying to be a mom, and you're wondering, how am I ever going to be a real coach? That was me a few years ago. Now I'm going into build your first six-figure business. That needs updated. Why do you want to build your six-figure business? Then I'm talking again to you, right? This is all copy. We build copy from knowing our ideal client. We know who she is, where she's at in her journey, what she's struggling with, the thoughts she has in her mind. If you don't know, have conversations, because the conversations you have with them are going to give you this information. Now I tell you about my framework, testimonial, again, more story sharing, imagine that you're this, polarizing opinion, what we do inside the program, the schedule, another testimonial, our 3C guarantee, another polarizing opinion, the program features, the payment or the investment, pay here, who am I, who's Chelsea, our co-coach, and then a bunch of testimonials. Okay, so that's a landing and sales page. That's important for people to know about your offer, who you are, who you help, how you help them. We call that offer story. Now, if you go to my Instagram, this is where you're going to find content. Okay, meaning I am showing up as an expert. I am providing value and I'm story sharing. My 5-step strategy to teach you how to get to 100K value, right? How to actually create content that converts. I'm inviting you to my community because I'm inviting you to this free masterclass. Stop posting like a 6 and 7 figure business owner, polarizing opinion. How boundaries improved my marriage and my business, story sharing. Do you see how I'm creating content between those pillars of story sharing, creating value, showing up as the expert, which is different than just putting copy on a sales and landing page. But what I do is I create content here and I create content in my emails and I make invites. If you just joined, please mute. I make invites into my community and I make invites to have conversations with people. right? And then from there, I'm inviting people to Academy, sales and landing page to buy. Do you see the difference between those like content pieces for website and social?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Hi. I think I was thinking more along the lines of like blog posting to like kind of convey some expertise in content versus like just that page of like
Yeah.
selling.
Yeah. So with your blog, I would do long form blog first. Like I would write all my blogs and then I would take smaller pieces of those blogs and put them into social media posts. And I would tell people like a small bit of it. So I'm giving information, I'm giving value, whatever. But then I'm also saying like, want more? Read the blog. Like click the link in the bio to read the blog. So I'm pushing people to the blog. Same with your podcast. I'll post a piece of that podcast in content form on social, and then I'll tell people to come listen to the podcast, right? So I'm always driving traffic from social somewhere else to the podcast, to the freebie, to my email list, to wherever from social media. So I would, again, write it long form. Same with email. The blog or email would come first, write it all out, take sections of it, put it in social. Take sections of it and put it in social that are going to grab people's attention, like clickbait, but not really clickbait. Do you know what clickbait is?
Yeah, that's awesome. Thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome. But like you really want to grab people's attention from social because social's so busy. And then you want to tell them what to do next. And when you do this over time of building awareness and prepping and priming your audience, now they know what to do. So if I've shown up and I built enough awareness around Academy or around DMing me, now DMing me is not scary, right? But in the beginning, when I tell people to DM me, nobody would. Nobody would ever DM me. And some people still don't DM me because I think people are afraid to DM people that they don't know, or there's this weird, like, how do I explain it? When people are like, I don't want to talk to you because like you're scary or like you might be mean to me, which is so weird. Or they're like, well, your team's just going to reply. Nope. I reply to my DMs. My team does other things. But I reply to DMs because I like to build those relationships with people. Because once you're in my program, like if you don't want to build a relationship with me on social, you're probably not going to want to be in my programs because I'm going to be all up in your business in like the most loving, caring way of like, I need to know how you function as a human and what's going on in your life a bit so I can coach you from that place. So like my students, I can tell you like their partner, their relationships they have, the kids they have, their schedule when they get up in the morning, because if I know these things about you, I'm going to coach you from a place of knowing this about you. And I'm going to coach you different than I'd coach someone else, right? If I know that you have people pleasing tendencies and you don't hold boundaries and you come to me and ask me a question about a client, I'm going to know that in the back of my head that you are feeling guilty because you're saying no, even though you need to say no. And I'm going to coach you from that place versus some of my other students who don't have problems saying no at all. It's not a mindset issue. It's just strategy issue. Okay. What other questions do you guys have? We have 5 minutes left. At the end of this, you're going to get an email with the content prompts. Post this on social media, tag me for a chance to win the membership. Join Academy by Thursday to get the 2 included programs plus a one-on-one session with me. If you have any questions about the program, shoot me a DM. I don't bite. I'm not scary. Not to mention outside of that, is that in my DMs, when I have conversations with people, same with sales calls, that's my Instagram in the chat, I am not just going to sell you. I'm going to have a conversation with you, right? I want to know your goals. I want to know where you're at in business and where you want to be. And from that point, I'm going to give you my best suggestion. Maybe coach school is better for you. Maybe none of my programs are better for you and I'll refer you to somebody else. But I'm never going to sell you into a program that you're not a good fit for because I only work with aligned clients and I want you to get results. And if my program's not going to give that to you, I'm not going to have you join. However, if you tell me that you want X, Y, and Z goals and that does align with my programs and you're holding yourself back, I'm probably going to push you a little bit lovingly. And I'm going to give you that nudge. How would you recommend to sell in your content while still building authority, if not to direct them to DM? Meaning that you just wanted them to click the link in the bio and join?
No. Okay. So my question is, so while you're building authority, while you're still trying to, tell your ideal clients what it is that you are an expert on,
Mhm.
when you are telling them that through your content, how are we supposed to grab their attention to dive into conversations if you are recommending not to be like, oh, shoot me a DM to learn more about this, or click the link in my bio to learn more about this? How else would you like navigate that selling part through the while you're building authority?
Great question. So I don't want you guys to get confused of like, don't say link in bio or don't say DM. Do this, right? If you want to build, like, you want people to be DMing you all the time, right? I've been in this class for an hour. I already just went on Instagram and I have 4 people in DMs, and I've been here for an hour. It was just on Instagram. You have to prime them to know what to do. So you want to say, shoot me a DM, but don't expect DMs right now. Like, if that's what you're truly wanting, but you're going to say DM me, prime them to do that. You're going to reach out and start DMs first. You're going to be the leader. You're going to start having conversations. Then you're going to go back to your stories and be like, in my DMs, I was just having this conversation. Now people are like, oh, people are DMing her. She's having conversations, right? And it's going to just keep rolling the ball. So do it, but just don't expect an outcome right now. Expect that you're going to have to lead. DM first, right? Continue to show up and prime and prime and prime and prime until they've gotten to be like, okay, now I'm going to do it. It takes people time. And sometimes we just have to start those conversations. And sometimes I still start those conversations. Another way to create valuable content and then turn it into a sell is like this. Let me show you guys a perfect example. I do this with my email list, and I just showed this to my students yesterday. So this is a perfect, when people will tell me, I don't want to sell too much, I don't want to constantly sell on email or always be selling. No, you're a business owner. You should be selling every day. You're not going to change someone's life if you do not sell to them. You're doing your people a disservice. Sell to them. There's a good way to sell and a not so good way to sell. So this is the way that I like to sell because it feels good and it works. Let me find the email. These are all, what's it called? Emails about the class. 6 steps to sales. Here we go. View and browse. Okay. I'm going to share my screen and then we'll wrap up. I know we're going to like be at time here, but I want to give you guys this strategy because it's good. Okay. This email. So I say to them, no strings attached. I'm going to give you my 6 ways to start selling today, right? How do I do it? Sell with content. Here's how you can do it. Sell in the DMs. Here's how you can do it. Like, I'm giving you the strategy. Sell an email. Here's how to do it. Sell on consult calls. Here's how to do it. Sell with relationships. Again, I'm giving them the strategy, and I'm saying if you want to learn more about sales and strategy and you want us hands-on in your business, you want us to teach you sales and strategy, join the program, right? If you thought this was good, join the program. Not only this, I'm giving you all of this because most of you will never do this. Most of you will never read this email and then start selling an email and selling in the DMs and selling on consults. Most of you are not going to do it. And then you're going to be like, well, I have the information, but now I don't know what to do. Which is why courses and low ticket memberships will only get you so far. It's just information. If you don't know how to implement the information, hold yourself accountable and make it work for your business, it's just information. It's not a transformation. So at some point in your journey, you're going to have to invest high ticket, $5,000 to $10,000 to move the needle. You're just going to have to do it, right? It's almost never that people join low ticket offers, join memberships, courses, and freebies, get a bunch of information and go out and make 6 figures. It just doesn't happen that way. So give people all the information. They're not going to do anything with it anyway. Long story short, that though is my method of selling. That's my method of selling an email, selling to my community, selling here, right? I just gave you guys a bunch of information that I also give my students. That doesn't mean this is going to change your life, right? It will, I'm sure you guys can take things I taught you today and start implementing them. But there's going to be a point where you need someone hands-on because the way that you sell, the way that you market, your messaging and your copy is going to be different than everyone else's in our group. So you need a coach that's hands-on. So our students, they can submit every day in Slack. my landing page, my sales page. Can you read my copy? Tell me how to fix it. Tell me my marketing, my messaging. How can I fix this for my clients? How can I post better social media posts? Hey, I'm having this DM with someone. They block out their name and their image. How can I sell to them? How can I convert them into a buyer? We're going to just tell you, right? But that's not something you can get in a course or a membership. You just can't. All right. We're at 10 o'clock, so I've got to wrap up. Thank you all for being here. I will send you guys the email with the prompts. This was super fun. Love doing this. You'll also get access to this replay for 5 days. If you have any questions about anything we talked about today, any of my programs, just shoot me a DM. I don't bite, right? I don't. And I will see all of you very soon. Okay? Bye, ladies. Have a great day.